The D&D Starter Set launched 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons in the summer of 2014 and began D&D's rise into the mainstream. But 6 years, 15 plus books, and one box set later, D&D 5e continues to evolve and grow with the community. So how does that original starter set hold up today? That's what we're going to talk about. Let's go. Hi, Bob here, and welcome to Bob World Builder, where we learn how to have more fun playing D&D together. So hit that subscribe button for weekly guides, tips, news, and reviews. And before we dive in, you probably know I'm a big fan of the Essentials Kit and its included adventure, The Dragon of Icespire Peak. I have a whole playlist breaking it down with some videos comparing these two boxes and even combining their adventures. But I made those comparisons based on research. Now I actually have the starter set, and I do plan on creating a similar series for this module. But we're probably going to do Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden first. So today, I want to show you what this old box is really all about. And there are affiliate links for both box sets down in the description if you want to pick one up and help me make better videos. Now here we go. So right here on our beautifully illustrated cover, we have, apparently, everything we need to start playing the world's greatest role-playing game. Let's see what we need. A 64-page adventure book with everything the Dungeon Master needs to get started, 32-page rulebook for playing characters levels 1 to 5, 5 pre-generated characters, each with a character sheet and supporting reference material, and 6 game dice. Now, this is quite different from what we see in the Essentials Kit, which obviously they've deemed all those contents to be essential for playing D&D. That would be the 80 plus cards that are in there, a DM screen, almost twice as many dice are included in that box. So, and all the downloadable content on D&D Beyond. I don't think D&D Beyond existed when 5e began. And in any case, when 5e started, there's no way they foresaw the success of this edition and knew how big the fan base would get and really how many people there would be to market all this other stuff to. Of course, they do kind of market here when you're ready. Get the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual, our core books. And if you watch this channel, hopefully you know that you don't need most of this stuff. You really don't need a pre-made adventure, you don't need pre-generated characters, you don't even need the rulebook. Those rules are free online. This 32-page book, though, it's actually a little easier to flip through, so that's pretty nice. But this kit, I will say, does a good job of including the kind of bare essentials, the true bare essentials for more of a commercial D&D experience. But all you really need is your own imagination and ideally one other person to share that story with. Maybe some dice, some pencils, some paper to flesh it all out. Oh yeah, and they marketed this for ages 12 and up. I know that a lot of you who watch this channel play with kids who are younger than that. Some of you even have kids DMing who are younger than that. So good for you guys. Let's check out the contents. First, we have our kind of metallic blue bicolored dice, a little swirly, very, very readable white numbering on it. You see, I did start to open this, but then I was like, hey, I gotta roll these on camera for the first time, so these have not been rolled yet. Stick around till the end of the video to see how these perform. And one more note on the dice. There's only 6 of these things. They don't include the percentile dice, which isn't really necessary. Anyway, they're pretty nice. Now to our adventure, the famed Lost Mine of Phandelver. I am really excited to eventually run this. As I mentioned, I will eventually make some kind of series about this module on the channel. It's really held up from what I've heard and from what I've read more recently as being one of the better 5th edition modules out there. I do want to show you guys this special section right here. I love this. Rules to game by. When in doubt, make it up. It's not a competition. It's a shared story. Be consistent. Make sure everyone is involved. Be fair. And pay attention. Like, make sure you look around the table occasionally to see if the game is going well. If everyone seems to be having fun, relax and keep going. If the fun is waning, it might be time for a break, or you can liven things up. I love that. These simple rules right here are really what D&D is all about. Now, as far as the book itself goes, the quality of the book is a little bit thinner, a little bit more pulpy, like magazine-like, than the books in the Essentials Kit. I did comment in that review that those are much sturdier, and I think they're going to hold up better over time. Nonetheless, you know, if you treat it well, this will be fine. It includes a lot of great art, of course. Art that, at this point, a lot of us have seen. But, yeah, like a lot of this stuff I think is from the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. And what I like about this is that its formatting is really reminiscent of the primary rule books of D&D, whereas a lot of the newer books are getting a little more flexible with the style, and that's great. But this really feels like 5th edition D&D to me, and I like that a lot. And another thing, this, I believe, includes a bunch more monsters than the Essentials kit does, which is great for new DMs getting inspiration to add stuff to this adventure. Like, of course, all of these are included somewhere in the adventure already, but when they're ready to write their own adventures, they have a lot more to work from without having to buy one of those other books. Okay, and our rule book, again, is about half the number of pages as the rulebook in the Essentials kit. That is mostly because they really stressed character creation in that. There are no rules for character creation in this. We can see it as how to play, combat, adventuring, spellcasting, some conditions. So it kept it to, 32 pages. I'm pretty sure the other rulebook is 64. Oh, that's weird. Like, share, and subscribe. Wouldn't you know? Well, yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with a friend who might be interested in this kit, or share it with your group if you're interested in playing The Lost Mine of Fender with them. And why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Thanks. Now, I really like this introductory paragraph to the rulebook. Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game is about storytelling in worlds of swords and sorcery. Like games of make-believe, D&D is driven by imagination. It's about picturing a crumbling castle in a darkening forest and imagining how a fantasy adventurer might react to the challenges that scene presents. In this fantasy world, the possibilities are limitless. That is exactly the kind of experience that I had when I first started playing that got me hooked on the game right away. Again, the notes about quality, formatting hold up with this as well. And the only thing I'll say then about the character creation stuff again is that while character creation is a great way to learn how to play the game, not including it and including those pre-gens instead, which we'll get to in a second here, is pretty equally good. I would say it's also a really valid way to play. Just jump right into it. If you're the DM, having a more thorough rulebook with how to make characters is great. But for a whole group of people who are just playing for the first time, maybe just starting with these pre-generated characters is the way to go. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Finally, we have some of our pre-generated characters, very classic archetypes here. An elf wizard. We have a halfling rogue, a dwarven cleric, a human fighter, this one bearing a great axe, and another human fighter, this one with a great sword, which I thought was really funny because human fighter with a great sword is exactly the character Grace designed for our Essentials Kit campaign. And if we look on the back, we can see that it does include other information that we would have had in that character creation section. So it includes some information about these base races, human, elf, dwarf, halfling, and that's it. And, fighters, so each class has some notes about a background. So again, this is all pre-generated. The player could, of course, create their own, but this is great for just inspiring that player. And on the other side, a bunch of info for how to level up, all the way to level 5, which, again, is all this adventure goes to, but it's kind of all you really need. I remember a little while ago, D&D Beyond had a poll come out that showed that most campaigns stop between 5th and 10th level. And I imagine that's the case for a lot of people. I've had very few games go beyond 10th level. So I think really to level 5, that makes this a great kit. And finally, there is this blank white insert down here that just kind of fills the bottom of the box. I think maybe they did this so you could carry around your player's handbook or something, but that's going to provide a great surface to roll these dice. All right, here we go. Whoa, 19. All right, you gotta like this video now. Out of 20, I'd probably give the starter set a solid 16. I think it is a great kit. Like I said, it really has a minimum of what you would want for a commercial, style D&D experience, the Essentials Kit definitely gives you more bang for your buck, and the starter set definitely is a good step before buying a full campaign book, except that Icewind Dale book maybe, which has the same structure as the Essentials Kit. But let me know in the comments what you think of this box set. Thank you for your support, thank you for watching, and keep building.